Hello everyone. So we are going to start our webinar now. I'm really glad to see all of you here. Just to understand if you see and hear me, could you please in our chat put plus or say hello, I see you and I hear you. Okay. I suppose that no one should have any problems with sound and with video, yes? So all the rest, guys, do you see me and hear me? Okay. I suppose that some people will join us as well a little bit later. So hello everyone, my name is Nadia Khort. We're going to have a webinar today about the future of urban learning. So this is a quite challenging topic, and we're going to discuss which challenges cities are facing now, and how the future professionals in field of urban planning and urban development can cope with those challenges. So to start with, I just would like to present myself a little bit. My name is Nadia, and for the last 3 years, I'm managing the International Laboratory for Experimental Urban Design in the High School of Economics in Moscow, and curating the International Master Program Prototyping Future Cities at the same university. Also, I'm the tutor of the course Readings on Urbanity at the same master program. So in my experience, I'm launching and managing the international educational programs in field of urban planning and urban development, and also research projects on basis of our laboratory. That's why I have some experience in dealing with the questions of education in field of urban planning, and today I would like to share with you my knowledge, my experience. And also today we are going to have the discussion, because I don't want to just to talk. I also would like to understand what do you think about the future of urban learning and future of cities. So that's why I would like to know a little bit more about you as well. So could you please answer those questions that you see now on your screen? So what is your current specialization? It can be urban planning, urban design, architecture, engineering, from any field where you are involved now. Where are you from, country or city? And why you participate in today's webinar? Just in 2 words, to learn more about cities, to learn more about education. Maybe you have another goal. So I give you 30 seconds to answer this question, and this will help us to understand from which fields we are, from where we are, and later to continue our discussion, okay? So guys, please answer in our chat these questions. I give you 30 seconds to this, okay? Do you hear me and see me? Because I don't see any answer for now. Okay, good. Thanks, Roshana. Hello, nice to see you. Okay, we have Raushana from Bishkek. She's an urban data analyst and curious about the gender in urban learning, urban professions. Hi. Okay, I see also Ruth Natalie, who is typing now. So can you share a little bit about yourself as well? So where are you from, and where are you involved now, in which specialization? And why you participate in this webinar? Okay, we have Varvara from Moscow, from Russia. Hi. I would like to change the field of studies from management to urban studies, probably to transport planning. Interested in urban professions too. Great. Thank you. We have an architect from Peru. Nice to see you. Hello. For me, it's very important topic of learning. Okay, thank you, thank you. We have media studies, Maria from Moscow, to change my field of studies to city data analysis. Great, thank you. So we have 10 seconds more to answer this question and we will continue with our discussion. Hello, Vitalia from St. Petersburg. Very curious about topic cause want to enter magistracy this year. My previous experiences on IT field. Great, thank you. Yeah, we're going to talk about IT a little bit today as well. Okay, I think, please, all the rest, how much people we are? We are 17 people now in our webinar. So all the rest, please, once you come up with this short text, please follow answering, and I will continue in parallel our webinar. We have Aulia from Jakarta, Indonesia, working as an architect. I want to learn more about the topic. Great. We have Victoria, urban planning from Samara, Russia, interested in topic of education and urban planning. Thank you. Hi, Victoria. Nice to see you. So, great, guys. Please, those who didn't answer yet, please keep answering. We will also come up with you a little bit later, and I will continue with the slides today, what we're having today. So, to start discussing what is the future skills and knowledge that you need to cover to be a leader in urban planning and urban design, we first need to understand which are the trends and which are the challenges that cities are facing nowadays. Nevertheless, we are from very different parts of the world, from Asia, from Latin America, from Europe. We're still living in the cities, and I suppose that we are facing from the one side very different questions because we are living in very different regions, but at the same time we are facing some general global urban issues. And that's why I would like to ask you to share your vision about urban development issues that you, for your region, for your city maybe where you live now, find most challenging nowadays. Just, again, think about just 3 urban issues. There are much more than this, but think about 3 which are the most challenging and which are the most important, maybe the challenges that is the problem for the city development in the place where you're living. So let's think about this a little bit. And so we have people from Peru, we have people from Kyrgyzstan, from Ukraine, from Indonesia, from Russia, from other parts of the world. So could you please share which issues are the most challenging for the place where you live, for the city where you live? So we have an answer from Roshana that say that for Central Asian cities, the main urban issues are mobility, sustainable housing, circular economy, waste management. Okay, thanks. So guys from Indonesia, guys from Latin America, guys from Europe, from Ukraine, from Russia, can you please share as well what are the main challenges for your cities? How do you think? So there is no correct answer here. This is just your vision, how you see it and how you feel it maybe even. Okay, we have Guillermo from Salvador. Hi. But he's studying in Moscow, mechanical engineering. Hi, Guillermo. So could you please answer the question? Which 3 main issues are most relevant for your city? It can be in El Salvador or in Moscow. How do you think? Okay, Victoria says that for Russian megapolises, the issues are environmental problems, economic inequality, lack of citizen participation. Okay, thank you. Andrei from Ukraine answers that the issues are waste management, recycling, sustainable public transport and high traffic, decreasing energy efficiency. Okay, thanks a lot. So 10 more seconds to answer this question. Varvara says public transport, environment and pollution, building new houses. Okay, guys, please keep answering this question. This is very, very interesting and very important. I have my short list, and actually it corresponds to what you were saying now. The main urban issues that mentioning everywhere in the UN Habitat, in the World Bank speeches are, first of all, ecology, and despite the fact that on the image you can see the picture from Nairobi, which is the capital of Nigeria, and which is the one of the, and in this city is located one of the biggest dams in the world. Nevertheless, this problem is challenging for any big city in the world and for many, many regions. And ecological problems are connected not only with the waste management and the recycling, but also with water management, with air pollution, with food cycle, and many, many others. So just to keep on housing crisis, many of you mentioned the affordable housing construction and housing problem in general. So I agree with you. This is one of the key topics in the urban agenda nowadays. And as you know, many almost all the global forums on urban agenda that we're having now, the housing is one of the key topics. And it's also connected with the fact that many people in the world are moving to the cities now, and even not in the regions of Europe and North America as it used to be in the 20th century, but in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia. And the cities of these regions are very fast growing nowadays, much more faster than the European or North American cities. And that's why many people are facing this housing problem. So urban vulnerability, this is the issue that you can with your own eyes witness in the last decade, that many cities in the world, not only in Asia or in Africa, but in the developed countries, so-called developed countries, in the United States, in Europe, are facing the problems connected with flooding, with fires, with terrorism attacks, and many, many others. So this is one of the topics as well. Resource shortage. I have 4 points, not 3. So resource shortage is connected with the fact that global population is growing, and we are consuming more than we produce. And in many regions of the world, here you can see the image from India, but not only in India, people are facing those problems with shortage of water, food, and many other resources. So why we are starting to discuss the challenges? Because in my opinion, and actually this is not just my opinion, but many urban planners say this nowadays, that the cities are not the cities are not the problem. The cities are the answer to the problems. And we, as urban planners, as urban designers, we must take into consideration these global problems. Nevertheless, these problems can be facing the cities in different parts of the world. We should have this global agenda in our mind, and so to understand how to answer these global problems. And of course, having these challenges that all of you mentioned for your cities into the mind, as urban planners, we should have an idea how to solve those problems, right? And which skills we can implement and which skills we should have to solve those problems. Let's just think a little bit about the trends in urban development that can solve those issues, those challenges that you mentioned in our chat. So again, for different parts of the world, I suppose that these trends will be different, but maybe we will find something common now. So how do you think which trends, which solutions can help to solve the challenges that you've mentioned before in our chat for your city, for your region, or maybe even globally? It's not so important now. So I will give you 30 seconds to answer those questions. Let's see, we have here in Lima, Peru, is the problem of transport, non-planning of the city infrastructure, insecurity. Okay, overpopulation, traffic. Maria mentions the renovation problem, adaptive transport system, wasting of food. Okay, So guys, let's think about solutions now to those problems. How do you think the problems that you mentioned can be solved? Locally or globally, it is not so important now. Okay, I see that no one has a solution for the problem. Oh no. Okay, Roshana says participative decision making, cooperative housing, sustainable architecture. Thank you. Victoria says waste management programs at the state level, development of NGOs. People are getting more city conscious, get involved. Okay, okay. Vitalia saying increasing the role of sharing economy, compact living, greening a city. Good, thank you. Our friends from Peru, what do you think? What do you think about your city development? Sustainable entrepreneurship, development of infrastructure, mega projects, people involvement in city life. Varvara, thank you. So guys from Indonesia, guys from Peru, what do you think? It's very interesting to know what is going on in your cities and how you see the solutions. So Aulia from Jakarta is seeing the solution in development of transit-oriented development, the vertical housing, including people in decision making. Okay, good. Okay, great. I will share just guys who didn't complete this task yet. So keep doing this. We will back with seeing it. So my top list will be quite connected with again what you were mentioning here now. As my first point, and the challenges were the resource shortage. Here will be the answer: the resource management. So at the picture you can see the very interesting and important project for Copenhagen that is already released. This is the trash recycling plant, which as you understand, recycle trash and produce energy from it for the city. So it's one of the interesting projects connected with the resource management, but here also involved is management in food production, in water management, energy management, and any kind of resources in the city. So the digital technologies, which also in many cases can be the solution for many problems. And of course it's connected with, first of all, with the data collection from the city and making the decision on basis of this data and on data analysis. The ecosystems integration, you also mentioned, many of you has mentioned this, and on the picture you can see one of the quite interesting, I suppose all of you know this project in Seoul, where the river was back implemented into the city after many years being under the transport artery of the city. And of course, again, we have many points, common points with you, the self-sufficient and affordable housing, which will be the solution for the housing crisis, which I was mentioning before in the challenging part. This is quite important, and many programs are developing now in some parts of the world. And this is also one of the solutions of the problem that is connected with the housing in the cities. So great, we've mentioned issues, we've mentioned problems, we've mentioned some of the solutions, and now we need to understand how we, being the urban planners and being the architects, designers, can solve those solutions and can solve those problems. As you can see, we are from different parts of the world, but we see the urban issues and urban solutions quite commonly. So we understand that global idea of urban development, nevertheless, there are of course local circumstances, is the same. And nowadays, without having this global agenda in mind, we cannot develop our local project even less. So now we live in the century where there is a shift from the traditional planning, which we're developing during the 20th and the beginning of the 21st century. And we are coming to the new era and new period of planning the cities, designing the cities, which is connected, as we mentioned before, with such problems as the resource shortage, as the urban vulnerability, and the fact that cities are changing quite fast, and the new tasks for urban planners are being created newly every year, and it's changed every year, and new challenges are arising. So many scholars and research about this are saying that nowadays the task for planners is being reframed and newly interpreted. So we cannot answer the questions of urban development in the same way as we did even 20 years ago. Because even 20 years ago, we didn't have those challenges that you were mentioning today, you were listing today. So the task is reframed and newly reframed. What has happened? So there is this scheme, and that is saying about 3 pillars of planning. During the 20th century, there were developed this, let's say, scheme that says that any urban project consists of can be assessed on basis of the 3 criteria: beautification, efficiency, functionality of the project, and social equity. So these 3 pillars of planning are framed by the American Association of Planners, by the European Association of Planners, and you see in the bottom of my page the source where I took it. This is a modern book, but you can see it everywhere. And if you think about any project of the 20th century in field of urban development, you will see that the main goals of these projects were to make the project beautiful from the point of view of physical development of it, to make the site or project functional, efficient, and to raise the social equity. This is great, and these 3 criteria are staying the same in the 21st century, but they are being reframed, and there have been new criteria and new factors implemented into these three pillars. For example, as you can see from the scheme, from beautification we are moving for not just making the project and the site beautiful, but to approach the well-being and the health of population. Why it's so important, the well-being and health? It doesn't mean that in the previous projects the urban planners never were approaching those well-being and health issues and questions. It means that now the importance of this project, of this criteria, is arising in the different angle, because cities are becoming more and more global, and people, comparing to the previous century, can already move from one place to another, and cities have to be competitive to attract the best people, to attract the best investment. That's why the beautification in the 21st century is connected not only just with creating the beautiful space for local people, but also in a global context to attract the best people and investment. Also, the criteria of efficiency and functionality is changing now, and we are moving to the things more connected with resource management, which includes here land, water, energy, and food production and management. And we are moving for the ecosystem integration into the city in a systematic way and using the modern innovations. This agenda is being introduced in the urban planning from the end of the 20th century, and now is becoming more and more important. And also the questions of social equity. Many of you mentioned that to make the cities better and to cope with those problems that we have in the cities, we need to use and more to involve local citizens into the production of space. And the social equity now is not the goal of the urban planning, is not just the goal of urban planning and urban projects, but this is also a tool of urban projects. Means that already when we are doing these projects, we are trying to achieve social equity. Not only in the end when we already accomplished this project. So, and you must understand that only 30, 40 years ago it was not like this. There was a totally different situation. And as we are having these pillars in mind, we are understanding, we must understand that the education must change as well. Education for urban planning and urban design must change as well, because the pillars of urban development are shifting now, are changing now. So, for example, in the United States, in the recent years, the American Planning Association has postulated that planning education programs over the next decades must shift their value systems, the pillars of planning that we just discussed, to reflect a greater awareness of the natural limits of our planet. So what does it mean? That we are not thinking only about delivering the specific knowledge to the urban planners and urban designers, but we are thinking about changing the value system in a global way, in a complex way, and introducing these value systems into the educational programs all over the world. So this is one of the quite important moments that has not been reflected yet in the past years, and that we should take into consideration while we think about the education that we need to get and about skills which we need to get to be the successful urban planners and urban designers. So moving back to the discussion part, I really would like to know which three main skills or competences you must have as a profession to face those challenges and to deal with them in an effective way. Just imagine that we are now, has just discussed that the urban planning agenda is shifting now, and you've mentioned the list of challenges, you've listed the, you made the list of problems. So how do you think in a 5 or 10 years you being successful urban planner or urban designer, so which three main skills you must have to successfully cope with those problems and successfully cope with your professional goals and to be a leader in the urban development field? So how do you think? I'm really interested to know this. So I will give you 1 minute to think about this. Yeah, Roshan is quite fast, thank you. Because that will help us to continue our discussion about education and about the goals of the modern education. So Roshan is saying that those competences can be system thinking, communication of the complex topics, product development. Vitalia says, from me now, +1. Okay, thank you. So all the rest, I give you 1 minute, okay? Maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute to accomplish this task. Can you switch on my computer? Yeah. Can you switch on? I need it. Switch on the battery. It's there in the back. Okay, Guillermo saying the programming, teamwork, interdisciplinary focus. Great, thank you. Critical thinking, digital prototyping, analytical skills. Critical thinking, okay. Great. Be careful. Thank you. Okay. Critical guys, can you please share all the rest? What do you think about this question? We are moving on. Okay. Even the last, not all of you answering, but even from the list that we have, we see that you are mentioning mostly the adaptability, conflict management skills, ethic value system. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Yeah, you are mentioning mostly the soft skills, and only some of you are mentioning the hard skills. This is interesting because, as you know, traditionally urban planning education has been connected with the hard skills of master planning, of drawing, etc., etc. So, guys from Indonesia, from Peru, can you also share your vision about this? This will be great if you share. Okay, while you are typing, we are going to move on. So nowadays, what do we witness? We see that education in urban planning is being divided into into three main streams: economic planning and geography, policy and public administration, urban design, and urbanism. So before what we had before, or why this division is important to discuss now, we had the geography faculties where usually the geographers and even urban geographers were being educated. We had some managerial administration departments, and we had the urban and we had architecture departments in the universities where these three professionals being educated. But what we see now that all of them were being educated with a different agenda in mind. But if we see to the cities nowadays, and as we've seen in our list of challenges, cities are becoming more and more complex, and they're becoming kind of complex big systems. And that's why there has been the fact that the skills and competences coming from all these three disciplines, from these, not disciplines, sorry, but streams, they replace each other. And quite often, people who has been educated as a geographer start to work with the people who has been educated in, for example, architecture, and they cannot understand each other because the fact that they're coming from the very different backgrounds do not give them the common language of discussion. But we see now that because of the fact that the problems are becoming more and more global and more complex, so this set of professions of specialization, in one hand, are mixing from the point of view that all of these professionals must have the common set of soft skills and common set of hard skills, but at the same time, they have a set of specialization hard skills that distinguish them from one to another. As you can see, the soft skills, which are becoming more and more important in the era when we're trying to involve the citizens to the public, to the development of cities, when we need to articulate our ideas and our concepts to the citizens. So the soft skills are becoming more and more important. So here we can mention adaptability, communication skills, public presentation, problem solving, negotiation, writing, social media, empathy to the citizens, which is quite important, system and critical thinking, and global vision about what is going on in the world. At the same time, those specialists have the common set of hard skills, which is connected with the data analysis and visualization, the quantitative and qualitative research methods, GIS, and foreign languages, because if you want to be the successful and leader in urban planning, you need to understand which challenges has cities from all over the world. At the same time, as we can see, there is a specific set of specialization hard skills that distinguish each profession from one to another, connected with financial and land use software, regulations, policy design, and urban designers must know the computer-aided design, 3D modeling, parametric design, digital fabrication, etc., etc. Why I'm mentioning on the slide this set of skills and from where I'm taking this information, I was looking and I was promising to give some insights from the potential employers about which set of skills and which set of competences is becoming more and more important. I will give you some understanding about this. So there is a book, not the book, but the article, which is called "Are Planning Programs Delivering What Planning Students Need? Perspective on Planning Education." So, and there has been, in this article, the authors produced the research among the directors, the CEOs, the general managers of the main planning organizations in the United States and in the Europe. And they were asking them, to those people who has been interviewing thousands of young urban planners from all over around the world for many, many years, they were asking them, in your opinion, which skills and competence and which kind of experience the graduate must have to be successful as an urban planner, as an urban designer. On the slide, you can see one of the opinions from Lee Brown, who is one of the members and one of the urban planners director in the American Institute of Certified Planning. So he's dividing the skills into three categories. One is the acquired skills with a particular attention to communication skills. The acquired experience that include planning education, of course, and professional experience, and the personality and attitude that demonstrate that you are interested in planning, that you are passionate in planning, and you are willing to work hard in this profession. Also, they did a survey, of 22 experienced educators from urban planning, from, again, different parts of the world, mostly in the United States and in Europe, and they've been asking, in your opinion, which are, again, those skills and those competences. And again, what we can see here, first of all, yeah, there were the answer about technologies, that the planners must know some technologies, but all the rest, as you can see, this is mostly connected with the soft skills like system thinking, like financial management, like leadership qualities, communication again, and critical thinking, right? Also, I have one slide from Ben Herman, who is the leader in the American Institute of Certified Planning again. And he's saying that he has experience of more than 30 years working in urban planning. And he's saying that he found out that the urban planner must have 6, let's say, big set of skills: visual, spatial, digital, verbal, financial, and analytical. Actually, this is everything, as you can understand. But he's starting from visual, because nevertheless the urban planners and urban designers are those people who are forming the physical environment of the cities. That's why the understanding of visual identity is quite important. The spatial understanding, when we are looking at the cities from above and when we're understanding how the space of the city is produced, reproduced, and is being developed. Nowadays, the digital skills are becoming more and more important, and using the informational technologies and digital fabrication and set of skills from the digital sphere is quite important. Verbal, this is more about communication, because the urban planners are quite often involved in communication with the citizens, is very important as well. Financial and analytical skills, because you need to understand, to get data, to analyze data, and interpret this data to make the projects more sufficient and more sufficient. And the last one, I think, no, sorry, I don't have more insights. I hope it's been interesting for you. And now I would like to explain you how this set of skills, which are shifting, which are being shifted from the traditional education to the modern one, how we use it to design our educational programs here in High School of Economics, on the example of, on the one of the master programs that we are developing right now. The program is called Prototyping Future Cities. You can see on the website page of this program, and on this program we are experimenting from shifting from traditional educational approach, when you have a lecturer who is experienced tutor who give you the knowledge, and we are shifting from this approach to the competence-based approach, when you get the specific competences on your own path of development, on your individual path during educational program. And in terms of curriculum, how it's being introduced and why it can be interesting for you, even if you don't want to apply for this specific program, but if you want to continue your education in urban planning and urban design, what you should be taking into consideration when you choose the program. The program must provide you the multidisciplinary approach. So how it can be implemented into the curriculum of the educational programs. There should be a set of subjects connected with management, which gives you the set of management soft skills to develop the urban projects. There should be a set of subjects connected with the culture of cities and culture of global cities as well. Yeah, you can see this layer here. Also the informational technologies, which, as you've seen in the previous slides, are quite important, and many of the experienced urban planners mentioned this. And the technology parts, which can be movable from one educational program to another, but which also nowadays is quite relevant. And if we're talking about the skills, so many of you mentioned the soft skills, which are becoming more and more important in the nowadays education, and we can also understand that in the previous traditional education, this set of skills hasn't been developed much, and the main attention were paid to the, if we're talking about urban planning education, to the drawing skills, to the technology skills, mostly to the tech hard skills. Now is being reframed, and programs should have this balance between soft and hard skills that being trained in the programs. So I have a couple of slides which I will mostly skip on, because it's talks mostly about the Prototyping Future Cities Master Program. If you are interested in this, you can go to the website and check which kind of projects we develop inside of the master, how we develop this, and how we introduce those soft and hard skills into our curriculum. So this I will just skip on and also go to the soft skills. So yeah, this is quite interesting, because I will just take a couple of minutes talking about soft skills in the urban design education, because this is something new, and quite often when we invite the experienced tutors, sometimes it's quite hard for them to understand that the education is being reframed now, and we need not only to tell to the students what they have to do and how they have to do it, but to listen to them and to understand the personal path of development of the students, and trying to introduce more and more learning of soft skills and training the soft skills into the educational process. For example, in our program, we are developing the critical writing, and our students are making the critical reports about different urban issues, and making those reports, making those essays public. So I will skip to this. The quite interesting topic is connected with the tutors as well, because as you can see, the many experienced tutors, for them it's not always important the developing of those soft skills, but mostly taken into consideration and putting attention to the hard skills. And we are trying in our educational program to make the balance between experienced and well-known professors and the young practitioners who can give the understanding on the current situation, on what is going on up to date and on the current agenda. So I will skip also the information about key facts of this specific program. You can find this on the website, and the application process as well. So I'm finishing with my presentation, and I would like to have in the end of the presentation the small discussion with you, because as you've seen, I was trying to explain that the challenges and the values that were being quite important and main in the last century, in the 20th century and in the beginning of the 21st century, some decades ago, they're being reframed now, and that's why the education and the curricula of the programs in the urban development and urban planning, urban design is being reframed now. So I skipped a lot of moments. I understand this because we have a very short period of time, and I would like to answer your questions if you have some questions, and I will be really happy to continue our discussion. On the slide you can see our contacts, the website, the email of the manager of our laboratory and the program. Oh, I suppose I wanted to put my email as well, but you can write to Alexandra and I will also get this email. So guys, do you have any questions concerning the skills, the competences? Please give me some feedback about the questions that we were discussing today. Do you find it relevant, or maybe we need to continue this discussion with more webinars, with more events maybe? So give me some feedback, please. That will be quite helpful. Roshana is asking prototyping. Do I understand correctly? It's mostly about lean concept. So can you please explain everyone the lean concept? And I will be able to answer. I understand that it's coming more from the startup, let's say startup environment, about the product design, but maybe you mean something else, and just not to misunderstand you. While Roshana is clarifying it, I will answer the question of Guillermo. Which role do you think blockchain is going to play in urban planning? So yeah, blockchain technology is quite important in many fields. Now it's mostly used in finance, but also there are concepts, and we're trying to develop those concepts and projects in our laboratory as well, using blockchain in energy distribution, for example. So for sure, the blockchain technology is going to play a role. Which role we should decide as the young urban planners and the future and the professionals, we should decide it. But of course, it can be used, for example, in one of the main fields in blockchain energy distribution. And such projects such projects already exist. And I know some startups that are developing that kind of projects in Europe, in Asia. And it's very much connected, the problem of blockchain implementation is connected with the already existing infrastructure. So we all know, for example, in the energy distribution, that there are big companies that stay behind that, and this technology can be developed only in case those companies will also understand the impact of this technology and the future of these technologies for their business as well. But for sure, the blockchain is going to play the big role. Yes, lean startup experimenting with product. Yeah, of course. So we do not use actually this term lean concept in our program and in prototyping. We use prototyping. What does it mean? It means that before making one project and putting it into the practice, we produce the set of objects, the set of concepts, and we try them on the environment. And we do at least 3 to 5 iterations of the project. We call it 3 or 5 prototypes of the project, which we later implement. Everyone asks another question. Set of skills looks overwhelming. What about urban design teams of specialists with mixed disciplines and background? And then communication and adaptability became the main challenge for them. Team members. Yeah, Roshana, that's why exactly what I also was trying to say, that many urban planners, even the experienced urban planners with the big names, they are mentioning mostly in the surveys, in the research, the importance of soft skills, because the teams of specialists are becoming mixed, the teams of specialists are becoming global and distributed. That's why the communication skills are becoming more and more important. And even the interesting fact that in these surveys, we don't see the mentioning of the traditional planning skills, like planning software or drawing skills. We don't see it too much as it used to be before. And this is quite interesting because in general, all the software and all the tech skills you can get for free in the internet now. That's why what you cannot get for free from the internet, this is the set of soft skills that you can implement to the specific sphere. That's why I agree with you that in the era and in the parts in the time when the teams are becoming mixed, the soft skills are becoming more and more important, even for architects, urban planners, and urban designers. But we don't need to forget as well the tech skills, without which none of urban planner or urban designer can be successful, because, yeah, this is at least the professional field. Any more questions? I see the questions. Can I get the presentation? Yes, we can send the presentation. Yes? Girls telling me that we can send the presentation. So I think that we will send the presentation to all the participants of the webinar, right? Yes, we can do this. So if there is no more questions, I'm really happy that you've been for almost an hour today with me. I will be happy to answer your questions by email, by the WhatsApp that you can see on the screen now. Also, you can subscribe to the social media of our laboratory in Facebook and Instagram and Vkontakte. And you can see the announcement of all events and news there. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again in our laboratory or in emails. Goodbye.